So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Isagenix Product and Opportunity Overview. My name is Kelly Campbell. I'll be facilitating the call tonight, and you absolutely want to stay on for our very special guest. We have joining us this evening none other than Mr. Herb Cepeda, the #1 income earner with Isagenix, and he's going to share some things with us that I think you will all find just extremely important golden nuggets on why there is a sense of urgency with Isagenix right now. And so I'm going to go ahead and get into the presentation so that we can get to the great part. But before I do, I want to take a few minutes to introduce myself to those of you that I have not had the opportunity to meet before. So if we haven't met, let me share with you, as I said, my name is Kelly Campbell. I spent the last 10 years of my life as a real estate investor in the D.C. metro area buying and fixing up houses. But the whole time I was busy fixing up houses, my body was literally falling apart. I struggled with being tired all the time. I want all of you to imagine that time, or just think about that time when you first wake up in the morning and you're struggling to open your eyes, you're foggy, your mind is cloudy, you're not sure what the next step is. But for me, that lasted all day long. That feeling wouldn't go away. I had swelling in my legs, so much so that I could literally feel my skin stretching to accommodate the fluid building up in my body. And I was in a lot of pain that actually limited my ability to climb stairs or even to squeeze a pencil tightly. And I carried on like this for a very long time. But it really wasn't until my mom got sick, my mother actually started to experience several health issues late in life. So much so that she had to file for disability. She had to stop working. And she became very depressed by that. And at that point, I got really motivated to help us do something for ourselves about our health and advocate for our own health. So I really went in search of something that could help us take better care of ourselves in addition to what we were getting from our doctors. And so I discovered Isagenix in January of 2013 on the recommendation of a friend. I didn't know anything about the products, but I decided to try them because I trusted her. I tried the products, and the first thing that happened was I lost 17 pounds in 30 days. It absolutely blew my mind. 6 dress sizes. I went from a 16 to a 10 in 30 days. It was unbelievable. But what was more important to me than the weight loss was the energy. My energy was absolutely off the charts. I hadn't felt energy like this since I was in my 20s, and I'm 37 now. So much energy that 5 months after starting on Isagenix, I ran my first sprint triathlon. That was something I couldn't have done in my 20s. I even lost half a shoe size as the fluid started to leave my body, as my body was starting to respond to just having nutrition. And so I think everyone who's on this call right now, we're all here because we recognize that we are experiencing a health crisis in our communities right now. We can look around at the people we know, at the people we love, at the people we work with, and see where we are experiencing a health crisis, but we were also experiencing a financial crisis. You can't turn on the news or look in a magazine and not see where people are struggling physically and financially. Right now, it's expected that 1 in 2 will develop cancer. In the 1950s, that number was 1 in 12. 1.3 million women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. There isn't a person on this call who hasn't been affected by cancer, either through a friend, a relative, or a coworker. And diabetes and obesity, autoimmune disease, are on the rise. And so what's happening right now? What's happening in our communities? What's happening to us? Why are we so sick? Why are we so overweight? Well, part of the reason is that our air is polluted, our water is contaminated, and our food is overprocessed and preserved with herbicides, pesticides, and larvicides. We are inundated with toxins on a daily basis. There are toxins in the water you drink. How many of you have ever had a bottle of Dasani water? Most of you have. It's in vending machines all across America. But did you ever turn that bottle around and look at the label to see what was in it? One of the ingredients in Dasani water is potassium chloride. Potassium chloride, do you know what that's used for? Potassium chloride is one of the chemicals injected in death row inmates when they're put to death. Now, there's not enough in Dasani water to make you keel over, in case you're drinking some right now. But it's just an example of some of the chemicals we put in our bodies and we don't give any thought to it. So there's toxins in everything you touch, your food, your air, your cosmetics. Gentlemen, you use cosmetics too. But in 2004, the Red Cross conducted a study. They tested a specific group of individuals for toxic chemicals, and what they found were more than 200 chemicals that had been banned 30 years ago. Banned 30 years ago. So who might you think that test group would be? Senior citizens? Baby boomers? The test group was actually the cord blood of newborn infants. The toxins had passed from the mother to the child. It's one of the reasons why, according to Newsweek and Time, this generation of kids being born right now today are not expected to outlive their parents. But toxins don't just make us sick, they also make us fat. Your body is designed to do two things: heal itself and defend itself. You have a defense mechanism. When a toxin enters your bloodstream and your body doesn't recognize it, it takes a little bit of fat, wraps around that toxin, encapsulating it, and shoves it somewhere away from your vital organs. On men, it's that big belly area. But on women, it's just about everywhere, unfortunately. And that toxic fat is very hard to lose. Most of us are carrying 5 to 20 pounds of toxic fat right now, not even realizing it. But what do we do when we have toxic fat to lose? We go on a diet, right? There's some of those diets we try. Diets like Slim Fast, the Lemonade Diet, the Master Cleanse, the Cabbage Diet is popular right now. But most of these diets starve the body of vitamins and minerals that you need every day in order to build healthy cells, that you need every day in order to rejuvenate. So you go on this diet, and what happens? You shrink in size, you become a smaller person, but you didn't get rid of the toxins, the impurities, or really solve the problem. What happens when you come off that diet? It comes back with friends, sometimes worse than it was when you started, right? One of the things that we need to do is include nutritional cleansing into our lifestyles. Nutritional cleansing is about flooding the body with nutrition, not starving it. Give your body the vitamins and minerals it needs every day and cleanse away toxins and impurities so that you can release that toxic fat. And we say release because lose implies you're going to find it again, and that's not what we want. What we want is less fat but more lean muscle. And in order to do that, we've got to nourish our bodies. So obesity contributes to more than 300,000 deaths per year. Right now, more than 80% of the U.S. is overweight. But the kicker is obesity contributes to more than 20 diseases that are preventable. Diabetes, heart disease, stroke, osteoarthritis, depression, all can be managed with good nutrition. Ultimately, nutrition is going to be the new health care. And that is where Isagenix fits in. That is where Isagenix fits into this picture. Isagenix is a superfood. It is an entire grocery store of superfoods, and it is a whole body cellular cleanse. So before I explain to you what a whole body cellular cleanse is, first let me tell you a little bit about this company. The company is Isagenix International. It was founded in 2002 by industry experts with 25 years experience. The company has achieved cumulative sales of nearly $3 billion and is expected to achieve an annual sales of $1 billion in 2015. Why is that significant? That's significant because only 7 companies in this industry have achieved $1 billion in annual sales and maintained it. And they partnered with the best of the best. Jim and Kathy Coover partnered with Dr. John Anderson. They call him Mineral Man because he has the largest botanical library in the world. Dr. Anderson is a world-renowned product formulator. He's formulated more than 2,600 products in his career for 600 different companies, but he's never attached his name to one. Companies would purchase his formulations and dilute them in favor of more economical formulations, and he couldn't get behind it. But Isagenix has a no-compromise standard when it comes to product quality. This was something that he could attach his name to. And so we always say documentation beats conversation. This is a clinical study published in 2 peer-reviewed medical journals. For those of you who are just listening, you can find this study at isagenixhealth.net. Again, that's isagenixhealth.net. This is a clinical study published in 2 peer-reviewed medical journals that compares Isagenix to the Heart Healthy diet. If you didn't know, the Heart Healthy diet is the only diet endorsed by the United States government. Well, the Isagenix test group saw 56% more weight loss with Isagenix, 47% more weight loss with Isagenix, and twice as much visceral fat loss, and that's the fat that's deadly that sits around your vital organs. And so there are 3 core products with Isagenix that I want to share with you tonight, because we'd be here all night if I wanted to share with you all of my favorites. The first product is the product on which the company was founded. Dr. John Anderson is a diabetic who created Cleanse for Life to save his own health. This is a product that nourishes your body while it cleanses. Don't starve the body. Give the body the vitamins, 100 nutrients that help support your body's vital function and your immune system while you cleanse. What you will experience on Cleanse for Life is a boost in your mental and your physical energy, a boost in your endurance. The second product I'm going to share with you is the Isoline Shake. This is so different than a shake you might pull off the shelf at GNC. This is under nature New Zealand whey protein. Why are we going all the way to New Zealand for protein? Because in New Zealand, they ban the use of herbicides, pesticides, larvicides, and antibiotic injections. They don't treat their food that way. This shake has 70 supercharged trace minerals to help you build lean muscle, and it has live enzymes that aid in your ability to digest the protein. When you pull a shake off the shelf at GNC and it says 20 grams of protein, you're probably only getting about 10 because it's going through your digestive system faster than you can absorb it. But live enzymes perform another function. Live enzymes also help to alkalize the body. Why is that important? Alkalizing the body is about bringing your body into a clean state where it can operate at its most efficient. The most alkaline foods are green vegetables, but what do we do to green beans and collard greens and spinach? We cook it to death. And when you cook it, it can't alkalize your body the way it was intended. So this shake becomes your raw food. This shake is nourishing your body, alkalizing your body, and helping you build lean muscle all in one. And the last product I want to share with you tonight is Isagenix Supreme. I want you to think of Isagenix Supreme like a thermostat. When it's too hot in the house, the thermostat cools everything down. When it's too cold, it warms everything up. Isagenix Supreme helps to bring your body into balance, and it helps the body combat stress. What does stress do to your body? It wears it down. It tears it down. It also makes us fat. When you're stressed, your body produces cortisol and puts weight right on your middle where we don't want it. Isagenix Supreme helps your body combat stress. It's what a nutritionist would call an adaptogenic, and it's supercharged with branched-chain amino acids to help you with building that lean muscle. Athletes love this product because they bounce back faster from their workouts. You will get the best night's sleep of your life with Isagenix Supreme, and you will start to feel an increase in your endurance and your energy when using this product. And so there's an entire grocery store with Isagenix. There's an entire grocery store of superfoods that all serve the purpose of flooding your body with the nutrition it needs, because according to doctors, we need a minimum 60 vitamins and minerals every day in order to build healthy cells. And these are nutrients that your body can't make. They have to come from food. They have to come from what you're eating or from your supplements. So some of the people who are fans and users of Isagenix include Kelly Ripa and Denzel Washington. Is good enough for Denzel? It's good enough for me. Football player Roy Williams and Emmitt Smith, Jay Fiedler, Joe Andruzzi, Aaron Rodgers. These are professional athletes. These are people that have spent their lives looking for the best products on the market, looking for more performance, looking for more energy, and an edge. Leonard Marshall, two-time New York Giants Super Bowl champion, is not just a product user, but he is a business builder with Isagenix, as is Red Lewis. Some of you may have even seen Ray Lewis announce on Fox News last year that he was building a business with Isagenix when he retired from the Baltimore Ravens. But as much as I like hearing about what celebrities are doing, I am much more interested in the people next door, the people that I see every day. People like my dad. My dad lost 43 pounds in 90 days with Isagenix, and as a result, he got the chance for his doctor actually let him come off of 2 medications that relate to a little sugar problem that he had. Mr. Luther Butts lost 50 pounds in his first 60 days. Since May of this year, has lost a total of 107 pounds with these products. Since May, 107 pounds. Tom O'Regan started the products on November the 9th. Tom was a big belly guy, for those of you who can't see the screen. By December the 9th, just 30 days later, that big belly was gone. Freddie Revere lost 51 pounds in 90 days, but sometimes it's not about losing weight. Ryan Jaselkis gained 63 pounds of lean muscle onto his 132-pound frame and has now become a physique model. And Katrina Reese lost 30 pounds in 30 days with Isagenix, completely transformed her body. And when she posted a picture to Facebook, 194 people responded and said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't care what it is, whatever it is, I want it." And Katrina became what they call an accidental business builder. Some of you are on this call tonight because you're interested in these products, but some of you are on the line because you're interested in building a business and an opportunity. So I'm going to take just 2 minutes to speak to that group. Isagenix operates in 3 markets: weight loss, energy and sports performance, and anti-aging. Right now, we said that 80% of the U.S. is overweight. Well, guess what? They don't like it. How do you know that they don't like it? Their spending habits. Weight loss is a $20 billion a year industry. Sports performance, $11 billion a year. And anti-aging is the biggest of them all at $114 billion a year. And according to economists like Paul Zane Pilzer, over the next 10 years, there are going to be 10 million new millionaires, and those millionaires are coming from home-based businesses, the health and wellness industry, and the internet. And Isagenix is a unique combination of all 3. We have something to offer in every single one of those markets. And this absolutely is network marketing. And 80% of women in the U.S. making 6 figures a year are doing it through direct sales and network marketing. And it's not just about earning an income. It's about earning an income that is residual, a residual income. Right now, most of us are earning a linear income, exchanging time for money. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. You work a 40-hour work week, you get paid for that 40-hour work week. But when you stop working, you stop putting in time, the money stops. Whether you're a hairdresser, an attorney, a doctor, or a W-2 employee, you're trading your time for money. Residual income is about building a source of income one time that continues to pay you long after the efforts to create it are done. Think about a songwriter writes a one-hit wonder and gets paid on it for the rest of their lives. That's residual income, and that's the opportunity that exists with Isagenix. The residual income in Isagenix is earned in what we call cycles. 10 cycles a week is the equivalent of a teacher's salary. 20 cycles is more than $56,000 a year, police officer's salary, and 100 cycles is a little over $250,000 a year, and it's absolutely happening right now. Isagenix has created 125 millionaires. There are network marketing companies in existence right now that haven't created 1 millionaire. But this is absolutely real, and I have someone on the line this evening to talk to you about why Isagenix, why this opportunity, and why now. And he's absolutely the best person to speak to you about this because he is the #1 income earner worldwide with Isagenix International. Herb Cepeda has more than 23 years of experience in the network marketing industry, and he is leading the fastest-growing team in Isagenix, and he is on the line to speak to us this evening. Mr. Cepeda, are you with me?
I am. Kelly, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for extending the invitation.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Herb, and step out of the way and give you an opportunity to speak to everyone on the call about why you think this is the best opportunity out there and why now, why a sense of urgency.
Okay, fabulous. Well, I can listen to you all night long. You sound absolutely phenomenal, and you certainly have the story down. And, I'm sitting here listening to you explain this all, and I said to Patty, who's sitting right next to me, wouldn't it be nice if we had somebody explain this to us 7 years ago? Because we had nobody explain this to us. And, all we saw were people who were undergoing some pretty fantastic and dramatic physiological transformations in their physiology, and we made a decision to join in, to experience it ourselves. And so we got on the product line, and what happened to me at 44 years old was pretty phenomenal. And I'm going to preface it by letting you know that I certainly wasn't a couch potato. I've been an athletic type of person my whole life, and into sports and physical activities and things of that nature. I've even shopped in GNC for 25 years prior to the introduction of Isagenix, because I thought that's what people who are physically active actually did for good nutrition, not knowing that I wasn't really getting any good nutrition whatsoever. But my wife convinced me to use the Isagenix product line, and I'm somewhat of a skeptic, very analytical. Brought up in the background of investigating things on my own. I was a New York State trooper, a police officer. And when she told me about it, I said, what's going to be any different with this product line than what I'm currently using? And she goes, well, if it's not different, then it's not different, but you're not going to know unless you try. And long story short, she got me to try the product line. And in 14 days at 44 years old, my waist went from a size 36 to a size 32. And I got to tell you, and she had the same type of results that I had. We got really fired up about the results. It gave us a lot of reasons to believe that we were onto something. But more importantly, the result itself became very compelling evidence to people who knew us. And people started asking. They started saying things like, sell me some of that. And our response was, well, we're not salespeople for the company. And they said things like, well, how did you get it? I said, well, I set up an account and became an associate just so I can order at a wholesale, and we could certainly help you do that. And they said, fine, help us set up an account. And so people started enrolling into the company as associates and setting up their own accounts. They started to undergo the usage of the product line, and they all got their own physical transformation, which became their own compelling evidence. And, when you have a physiological transformation, in many cases people notice and they'll ask. You see, that's what makes network marketing so powerful, is people talk. And today, communications is at a whole new level. I mean, today we have the Internet. Everybody has email. We all use social media like Facebook and Instagram and what you're currently using right now, a webinar presentation. We all have access to all of these means or mediums, I guess I should say, through devices that we carry in our pockets called smartphones. Most people don't stop to take into consideration that the first iPhone only came out in 2007, so it's a relatively new piece of equipment. And yet smartphones have taken over. It gets people in a position where they can share information that can literally reach millions of people overnight. And so that started to happen with the people that we started to introduce into the company, and they got all fired up and excited. And something dawned on us very quickly. We started to figure out that the majority of the people who enrolled as associates were enrolling just to use the product line. Very little of them, or very few of them, really had a major concern about an opportunity, so to speak, or an income-producing activity that can actually set themselves free. But you see, we knew it. We had 27 years of experience in the industry. We've been around the industry. We've been looking. We've been keeping our eyes open for something that implemented word of mouth. Unfortunately, all the companies that we came across implemented a word-of-mouth situation through a medium known as multi-level marketing. And see, we were adamantly opposed to multi-level marketing because we had an instance or a circumstance or an experience with a multi-level marketing company. We rose up the ranks of one of these companies and did very well, only to find out that it wasn't duplicating and it wasn't sustaining because the attrition rate was off the charts. And it started going backwards on us. And we put in a lot of energy, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make it continue to grow, but we were failing. And we were failing so tremendously, and we wanted to continue to believe, and we really did see examples of people who made it on a very large scale, but for us it was going backwards. And yet our persistence and our desire to get those results kept us in the game to the point of bankruptcy. And when that happened, I told my wife, we're never doing it again. Never again am I going to expose myself or put myself in a position where I'm going to participate in a multi-level marketing atmosphere. It's just too much. I'd rather flip hamburgers in McDonald's to provide some sort of an income for my family than putting ourselves through that emotional distress again. But we always knew that if a company can remove the multi-level aspect out of word of mouth and pay people off of initiating product movement to the end-line consumer, no matter what level people were on, then we knew that would be special. Unfortunately for us, it took 17 years for us to find that circumstance. But when we found it, it was Isagenix. It was when we used the product line, and then we started to recognize what their compensation plan did and how it was so simple. 2 teams, that's it. You have a left team and a right team. You tell people they want to set up an account, you put them on your left or your right team. Tell the next person, put them on the left or the right team, and so on and so on. Well, 10 months into this activity, Kelly, they were paying us $5,000 a week. Now, $5,000 a week isn't all the money in the world, but I'll tell you, when your back's up against the wall financially and you can make $20,000 to $25,000 a month, it's a big deal. And a lot of people caught on to that. And a lot of people started to recognize the timing associated with Isagenix. Because here's the truth. I believe Isagenix is an unbelievable sleeper right now. Not too many people understand it. Not too many people know about it. And yet, the company is breaking records right now. We're in a magical time with this company. If you think about it, we're 12 years old. Last year we did, let me see if I get these numbers right, 2013, we did $448 million. This year, 2014, we'll probably close out at $700 million. And next year, 2015, is going to be a milestone year because it's going to be the first year that our company did $1 billion annually. That'll put us at 12, 13 years old in our 13th full year. I'm estimating by our 15th full year, we'll even double that annually to $2 billion a year. And here's my point. There are people right now that we personally work with whose lives have changed in a relatively short amount of time. One of our neighbors in our neighborhood who we told about this when we first moved to North Carolina from New York told us no. And we weren't good. If people tell us no, the timing's not right in their life, we're just not going to mention it to them again. Time passed. We saw this person over and over again, 18 months. And then she came up and she said, is it still a good time? And our answer was, the timing is going to be spectacular with this company for about the next 10 years. And so she says, all right, I want to do it. I'm ready. And she got involved 24 months ago. Today, she earns over $50,000 per month. $50,000 per month. She's in her mid-30s. She has 3 small children, and her life has been totally transformed. We hired her nanny when we came down here. Her name is Audrey. Audrey actually worked for us when she was 19 years old. Then she moved back to Tennessee and called us. She said, I want to try that product line that I avoided using or trying when I was working for you all that time. And we said, fantastic. What motivated you to do it? Well, I came home and my dad and mom sat me down and they said I gained some weight. And that'll get any young lady's attention, maybe not in a positive way, but at least it got her to take some action. Because 30 days after using the product line, at the time she was 21 when she started, this 21-year-old girl lost 35 pounds in 30 days. 35 pounds in 30 days. Today, Audrey makes about $20,000 to $25,000 per month at 23 years old. I can go on and on and on about these stories. There are examples of people from all walks who are starting to recognize the sign of the times. We're in a different economy today. Everything is changing. And what I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt is that the way that wealth was created in the past is not necessarily the way it's created today. And even if you did have means to create wealth the way that it was created in the past, normally it would consume you. Success in network marketing means total freedom, the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, without having to worry about money as much as you want. Wouldn't it be great to wake up in the morning when you were finished sleeping? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to say to your family, you know what, this year for Christmas, we're going away on a 2-week cruise during Christmas and New Year's. Are you into that? And they get all fired up. Yeah. And so you say, okay, book it. And you tell your 20-year-old daughter to book it and give her the rights to book a cruise. It's exactly what we did. And you know, it involves the whole family. But more importantly, it's setting people free. We're nothing special. Herb and Patty Cepeda are nothing special. We're two ordinary people from blue-collar backgrounds, but yet we saw something that we believed in, and we took action. Today, I'll tell you that we're taking even more action. We tell everybody that we meet that has a good personality, that has, and if they have good interpersonal communicative skills, that's a plus. We tell them, look, you are phenomenal. I don't know if you ever keep your eyes open for ways to make some serious money, but if you do, let us know. And then we move on. And if they're interested in that, they'll tell us, and we'll let them know. If they're not, we move on. Why? There are billions of people on this planet. And if you look just domestically, 87% of our population is overweight. 87%. And a good third of those people are considered morbidly obese. It's a huge concern. Couple that with the network marketing industry that did $167 billion in global sales last year. But this is the reason why history is being made. I think the information age is really excelling the rate at which Isagenix is growing. Recently, I went back and looked at the top 10 networking companies globally. All of those companies have a few things in common. Number one, they're old. The average age of the companies is about 48 years old. The youngest one is 30 years old. That company did $3.1 billion last year. It took them 25 years to hit $2 billion a year. I'm anticipating we'll hit $2 billion annually by our 16th year, probably by our 15th year, which means we will be the company that hit $1 billion, $2 billion annually, $2 billion annually, faster than any company in the history of this industry. It's a huge statement, and will be one quarter of the age of all of the companies that are there today. And so if you're listening to this for the very first time, I'm going to tell you, I wish there were a pill that we can give you, that you can drink with a glass of water, where you can understand everything that we know, where you can see everything that we see, experience everything that we've experienced, come to know the corporate staff like we know them, fabulous people that Jim and Kathy Coover have surrounded themselves with. People like Kevin Adams, who is next in line to be CEO from Carnagra Foods, a multi-billion-dollar food chain or food distribution company globally, left it to be the CEO here at Isagenix. He brought over with him people like Scott Luther, who is a mathematical genius, Darren Fuji, who's also a mathematical genius. They act as Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer for our company. These are young, energetic, nice people that want to help people be set free. That's our goal, to set people free. But if that magical pill was available and you were able to consume it with a glass of water, I'll warn you, you'd probably not sleep this evening. Why? Because you'll quickly determine that if anybody can do this, so can you. There's no reason in the world why anybody on this line with a little bit of part-time efforts doing this in the pockets of their lives can't create an extra $500 a week, $1,000 a week, $5,000 a week. Deanna Falchuk, love her to pieces. This woman is a mother of 7 children, 4 of whom are adopted. And yet 18 months ago, her family was in such quiet desperation that they were eating expired food from a food pantry, food that they wouldn't even feed to the homeless. That's what her family was eating. Somebody exposed her to this, and she said, you know what, this makes sense, and she started sharing it with other people. Today, the NFL check earns about $10,000 a week. She's only been involved with our company for 18 months. And so if anybody can do this, so can you. Believe that. Really believe that. And some of you will say, I don't believe it is a sales pitch. This is not a sales pitch. Quite frankly, I hate sales. I really do. But I know that if there's a demand for something out there that you can provide, you can set yourself free. And if you can initiate a production curve just through word of mouth, think about it. 7 years ago, I told you I lost 4 inches off of my waist. My wife had a similar experience. We started telling people about it. Today, 7 years later, the company pays us off of about $70 million worth of product movement annually. I think that's spectacular. But what's even more spectacular is that some of you, I hope and pray to God, some of you on this line will certainly outproduce that production. And so, Kelly, I want to thank you for inviting me to the call this evening. I can go on for hours and hours and hours. I can get really in-depth. You know I'm analytical, so I do a lot of facts and stuff. But facts are not exciting to people. What's exciting to people is them to understand, can I make it? Can I do this? And I'll tell you where it all starts off. It all starts off with making a decision. You see, decisions plus actions equal results. And the first decision that you must make is this. Am I willing to try this product line? Am I willing to see what it's all about? If you want to know what's in it, very simply all of the good, none of the bad. No high fructose corn syrup, no hydrogenated oils, no artificial sweeteners, no harsh stimulants in it, no fake sugars in it. Instead, it has all the things that you mentioned earlier. All of the good and none of the bad. It is truly superfood. If you're willing to make a decision to say to yourself, you know what, I'd like to set up an account. I'd like to buy these products at wholesale for the same price that the gentleman who was talking this evening, me, buys his product at. You see, we all have the same pricing structure. It's either retail or wholesale. I just choose to buy mine at wholesale. If you're willing to make that decision and engage in the process, I would get back to the person who invited you to this call this evening and let them know that. They'll walk you through the whole process. You don't need to know how to do it. They'll do it for you. Then you can start to consume the product and watch the transformation that occurs in days. You see, because it's in days that people look different. It's in days that people feel different, not months, days. If you're willing to do that, that's the starting point to any success in the future. So I want to say God bless everybody. I hope and pray you make that decision to change your lives. You've got nothing to lose but weight. That's it. And the weight in the form of fat off of your body. And who knows what it can turn into for you. So, Kelly, again, thank you for inviting me to the call this evening. I appreciate it. You rock. You are a rock star. Patty and I were listening to you, and we said she is sharp. She's got all the information down, and we just wish we had somebody 7 years ago to explain it to us like you explained it tonight, because we would have said, yes, we're all in. We want to try. So I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks so much, Herb. I really appreciate that, and thank you for joining us on the call tonight so that everyone could get some of the wisdom from you that we've had the benefit of hearing on our Tuesday night meetings. And so for everybody who's listening, we invite you to try it, to give it a try. Some of you on this call are thinking, man, I really want to try those products, and that is phenomenal. We love that. And some of you are thinking, I want to try the products, but I'm also really interested in this business opportunity, and that is absolutely fantastic. Please get with the person who invited you to the call. Let them know what you liked about it. Let them know what you heard that caught your attention. And for those of you that really aren't sure how you feel after this call, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, just say yes and figure it out later. That's Richard Branson. So thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. We wish you a good night,